What if I told you? Respect has nothing to do with your words, your outfit, or your title, and everything to do with the first 5 seconds you enter a room. Not 10, not even 6. 5. That's all it takes for people to decide. Are you a leader or just background noise? Most people spend hours preparing what to say. But here's the brutal truth. No one's listening if you lose them in the first 5 seconds. We're hardwired to scan for power, to feel it before we understand it. It's primal, it's silent, and once it triggers, it's irreversible. This video isn't about fake confidence or cheesy tricks to look cool. It's about psychological precision, presence that speaks before your mouth does, and moves that silently demand respect without saying a word. Watch closely, because by the time we finish, you'll never walk into a room the same way again. Part 1. The Power of the First Stillness. The weak walk in like they need permission. The powerful pause, not because they're unsure, but because they own the moment. When you enter a room, stop, just for 2 seconds, not long enough to be awkward, but long enough for the room to feel your stillness. This is called a dominance pause. It's not hesitation, it's control. It says, I move when I decide, not when the world expects me to. And people feel it, instantly. You're not in a rush. You're not chasing anyone. You're not seeking approval. You are the approval. Now here's what the average person misses. In nature, predators don't burst onto the scene. They pause, they observe, they claim the space without a word. Stillness is unnatural in a fast world. That's why it commands respect. It breaks patterns. And when you break patterns, people look. The dominance pause doesn't just grab attention, it resets the room's energy and positions you as the one who controls the tempo. In those first 2 seconds, you're not walking in. You're announcing your presence in silence. Part 2. Scan with strategy, not desperation. Most people walk into a room and start scanning. Not to observe, but to seek approval. Their eyes dart around, searching for validation. Who's looking at me? Do I fit in? That's not presence. That's weakness, disguised as awareness. Here's what you do instead. Pause. Then scan slowly, strategically, not frantic, not paranoid, just a calm sweep, like a lion entering new territory. You're not looking to be liked. You're taking inventory, reading the energy, assessing status. You're watching who performs and who observes, because power doesn't look around to be accepted. Power looks around to understand what it already owns. This is a subtle but deadly shift. You don't walk in wondering, do they want me here? You walk in thinking, who here is already performing for attention? That one mindset flips the dynamic. You become the one who evaluates, not the one being evaluated. And remember, movement that's intentional is presence. Movement that's reactive is noise. When you scan with strategy, the room becomes yours before you even take a step further. Part 3. Eye contact is a weapon, not a smile. Eye contact is the oldest language of power. It existed long before words, and it still decides who leads and who folds. But here's the mistake most people make. They try to connect with everyone, smiling, scanning, trying to be liked. That's not presence. That's performance. You don't need to lock eyes with the whole room. Just 1 or 2 people. No smile, no grin, no raised eyebrows. Just calm, neutral awareness. You're not saying, hi. You're saying, I see you. Because true power doesn't chase attention. It chooses where it lands, and that choice is everything. Now, the exit is just as important as the entry. Don't break eye contact fast. Fast equals fear. Fast equals submission. Instead, look away slowly, like you meant to, like your attention is yours to command. That tiny shift sends a loud message. I'm aware of you, but I'm not here for you. Too much eye contact is threatening. Too little is weak. But the right amount, it's unforgettable. It lingers long after you've looked away. Part 4. Walk like the room owes you nothing. Your walk says more than your words ever will, more than your shoes, more than your style, more than your smile, because your walk is your rhythm. It reveals how you move through the world, rushed and reactive, or calm and in control. Most people walk like they're chasing something, a reaction, attention, permission. That's prey behavior. But you walk like nothing is chasing you, because nothing is. Move at your pace, not too fast, not slow to look cool, just deliberate, grounded, unbothered, complete. Here's the mindset. I'm not here to impress. I'm here because I choose to be. And others feel that. Watch any mafia boss scene. Michael Corleone, Gustavo Fring, Tommy Shelby. They don't rush. They stroll. They move like they own time. Because the faster you move, the more it looks like the world is pulling you. But when you walk slowly, the world starts adjusting to you. Powerful people never try to prove they're powerful. They just move like they know. So the next time you enter, walk like the room owes you nothing, and it will give you everything. Part 5. Speak like every word costs something. Most people talk too fast, too much, too loud, because they think more words equals more power. But in reality, more words equals more chances to lose control. The powerful speak less, and they speak slow. Not because they're unsure, but because they know every word costs attention, and they never spend it cheap. When you open your mouth, your tone should drop. Your pace should slow. No filler, no laugh, no need to prove anything. Start with something simple. All right, let's begin. Say it calm, say it clean, and let the silence after your sentence speak louder than the sentence itself. Because in psychology, stillness is power, and silence makes people lean in. Remember, yelling is for the insecure. Over-explaining is for the uncertain, but the man who controls his voice controls the room. Speak like your words are gold. Not everyone should get a piece, because when people feel you don't need to talk, they'll hang on every word you choose to say. Part 6. Flip the frame. You don't need to be liked. When most people walk into a room, their inner dialogue sounds like this: I hope they like me. I hope I say the right thing. But that mindset, it leaks through your body language, through your tone, through every glance, every step, every word, and it repels power. Here's what the powerful think instead: let's see if they deserve my time. That's not arrogance, that's frame control. It's a silent message that says, I know my value. I'm not here to be chosen. I'm here because I've already chosen myself. And when your inner world shifts like this, your outer world follows. You stand taller. You move slower. You don't seek validation. You set the tone. People can feel the difference between someone chasing approval and someone who brings gravity into the room. Because power isn't loud. It's still, and that stillness makes people lean forward. So flip the frame. Stop wondering if you're enough for them, and ask if they're enough for you. Win the first 5 seconds. Own the entire room. Tong gyong, dut koat, sau sak, keu goi han jong, nu mot loi thuk tin. Let's bring it full circle. Respect isn't earned after minutes of speaking. It's decided before you even say hello. Those first 5 seconds, that pause, that scan, that silent presence, that's the battlefield. And most people lose right there. Not because they're weak, but because they never understood what the room is really reacting to. It's not your words, not your clothes, not your smile. It's your energy, your posture, your rhythm. It's the quiet dominance that makes people adjust themselves around you. You've now seen the blueprint, not just tactics, but a shift in identity. Because the man who controls those first 5 seconds controls how the world responds to him. So what happens next? You apply. You walk into the next room, not to be seen, but to be felt, not to impress, but to evaluate. And when you do speak, speak like silence is your native tongue, and words are tools, not crutches. Now listen carefully. This isn't just a video. Dark mindset is a movement, a rise of presence in a world of noise. Subscribe now. Tay Unheard. The choice, as always, is yours.